My name is Jalissa Coronado. I wrote my white paper report on US foreign policy and the public opinion. So that's what this PowerPoint will be about. Excuse me. So what is foreign policy? A country's foreign policy, which is also called the international relations policy, is a set of goals about how the country will work with other countries economically, politically, socially, and militarily. It includes such matters as international trade, foreign aid, military alliance, and war. So basically, foreign policy is the way a government deals with other nations. Foreign policy is the least democratic policy. So what does that mean? Well, the American people do not have authority to deliberate or decide how things regarding foreign policy are carried out. That's usually left up to the people higher up. The leaders of a country often have internal and external cognitive factors that determine their decisions. In most cases, they usually act in their best interest. So why does the public's thoughts and opinions on foreign policy matter? I think it all started after 9/11. That's when Americans became more concerned with the safety of this country and began to ask questions regarding, the next steps. So now, um, a lot of foreign policy decisions, they have started to address domestic issues. That is why I think the public's opinion on foreign policy should matter more today than it did in the past, or if it even did in the past. So who took the survey? A survey was conducted to showcase the opinions of Americans living in Texas. These are only Americans in Texas on several issues such as military activities and budgets. So you can see on the right that um almost 80% of the survey takers were between the age of 18 and 24, and it was 10% or less were 31 and older. Democrats, they did um have a lot more. There were a lot more Democrats in the survey. There were about almost 60%. We also did have more males who took the survey than females or any other gender. Okay, so this is gonna be um the public's opinion on military activities. So that should be the US. The US is the largest financial contributor to the UN, which is the United Nations, and yet America often aids other countries when they need it. So when asked if the UN should be held more accountable and help other countries in need rather than the United States military helping, most survey takers said yes. So 61% strongly agreed and 27% somewhat agreed. Altogether, that is a combination of 88% of Americans that believe America should scale back and let the United Nations be do more, I guess. Okay, so this is military activities continued. Many Americans want to reduce the number of troops overseas as they believe US soldiers should not be put in harm's way unless there is a legitimate threat. The participants had to agree or disagree with the following statement. U.S. troops should only be put at risk if there is a threat to America's security. 68% of survey takers agreed to some extent that U.S. troops should only be put at risk if there's a threat. However, 10% do believe that is a good thing for America to help other countries, as this can furthermore strengthen things like allyship. Okay, now the opinions on budget and spending. The United States spends more money on military expenses than the next 7 countries combined, and uses the biggest part of the discretionary budget. So the government spends 770 billion yearly on national defense. When asked if lawmakers should increase, decrease, or maintain military spending, a majority said maintain. 78% believe that the government is spending the right amount. We can assume that although it is a lot of money, it is required to keep the country strong. Not to mention, not very many people think that the budget should be increased because it is a lot of money. So, a lot of people think it's fine right where it's at. By conducting this survey, we are able to recognize that ordinary Americans take interest in how the government chooses to handle foreign policy. Government officials should consider the opinions of the citizens on certain issues during dealing, with foreign policies as it deals with all Americans. And that's all for now.